In this video, we'll be taking a look at a few ways you can convert a ZBrush model into SolidWorks using PowerSurfacingRE. There are 3 different ways to do this, and each will give you a different number of surfaces as a result. The first way is just the standard conversion of importing, quad wrapping, shrink wrapping, and then converting into SolidWorks. This is perhaps the simplest way, but also results in the largest number of surfaces as the output. The other 2 methods both involve using the Z-Remesher tool in ZBrush. Once we open ZBrush and have our model up, we start by duplicating it. We then go to the Geometry tab and select the Z-Remesher tool. I use the default settings for Z-Remesher, and it output these polygons. I now use the divide command. For this next method, I went with the subdivision level of 4, which outputs a similar number of polygons to the original. This allows me to capture the most amount of detail when we go to the next step in SolidWorks. Now use the project all tool to capture all the detail on the original model. I set the distance to 0.5 here. Now we can export the model and import it into SolidWorks. We import the model as an OBJ sub D. This brings it straight into Power Surfacing. I select meters because the values are quite small. Here we see that there were a large number of polygons from the subdivisions in ZBrush. We can directly convert this into SolidWorks now. There are noticeably fewer surfaces here than there were with our traditional conversion. For this last method, I went back into ZBrush and changed the subdivision levels down to 2. You again import a ZBrush file as an OBJ sub D. In the Power Surfacing options, I reduce the sub D pushback so that I don't see the back-facing edges. Now I open our original ZBrush file as a reference mesh. I then select all the vertices and add references. Now I do the shrink wrap to shrink our sub D down to the reference mesh. We want to turn optimization off to prevent additional surfaces from being created. From here we can convert into SolidWorks. The benefit of using these methods is that it still exports a high quality model, but also outputs a lower number of surfaces than a standard conversion. We see the model using the final method. Here's just using the Z-Remesher and the conversion, and here's the original method we tried. Thanks for watching. For additional information, visit our website at npowersoftware.com.